Today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Wolverine series. We're having a look today at the Manipulators of Memory, the White Queen. The now second released White Queen from Hasbro. The first White Queen, you'll notice Spot never did a review on her because she was just horrendous. In fact, Spot never picked her up, and I think I saw her at a store clearance for $1.25. Still didn't pick her up. That's how bad the figure was. White Queen does include the upper torso, body, and the lower legs of Puck. So really putting Puck together as a build-a-figure is going to be quite simple indeed. On the back of the package, it includes legs and torso to build Puck. It says, no mind can hide from these mutant mavens. One absorbs memories, one forges them through pure telepathic force. So I guess this one is, well, I guess this one is Rogue, but I don't know if we ever got a Rogue ship included. In fact, Spot got himself the entire case and got, I think, 3 Wolverines, 2 Sabretooth, and 2 Cyclops. There was only 1 White Queen in this entire set, which probably would explain why she's a little harder to come by. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to take a break. I'm going to get this opened up, and when we come back, we're going to have a better look at the White Queen. There's definitely more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. And just before we have a look at the White Queen, she does also include the Tales of Puck 3 of 3. I know Spot's done this out of order, but you've got Wolverine. Wolverine is in peril during a battle with the sorcerer Movis and the beast Wendigo. The Alpha Flight team shows up just in time to turn the tide when a wounded Wolverine is tossed towards the team by Wendigo. In an evil twist on the fastball special, it's Puck who catches the hurling hero and gets him to safety. Read more at Wolverine number 172. And then, of course, on this side, it shows you which pieces are checked off, how to put together Puck. I assure you, you don't really need these instructions to put together Puck. He is quite simple. In fact, let's do that right now. You've got the upper torso and the legs of Puck. As you can see, Puck does at least have some articulation. He's not just a staction piece. So you're going to be able to at least get a lot of movement out of him. Let's take the head before we lose it. That would have come included with Sabretooth. We'll snap that into place. And you've got yourself Puck. Without arms, but at least you got Puck. So, putting him aside. You'll also notice, too, that the White Queen comes with a display stand. Now, I used Wolverine's display stand, Wolverine right here, because she has a tough time standing. She's, as nice as of a figure she is, she's very spindly, especially in the legs. Very, very spindly. This is definitely a figure that really needs a display base, and makes me can't help but wonder why she came with a piece of Puck when really she was the one that needed the display base the most. Wolverine could have come with the head from Puck or the torso from Puck, and she could have easily come with the display base. Display base now, crucial, I think, for displaying her. Taking her off, though, and just putting this aside. She doesn't come with this, so just once again. She's not bad. She's not bad. The face is far better than what we had gotten initially with the first White Queen. I don't even want to think about that figure. That figure was just a dog's breakfast. But this White Queen is quite nice. I like the silver in the lips there as a silver lipstick. A very pale complexion figure. The hair is sculpted nicely as well. Coloring-wise, she doesn't really have a lot going on aside from being a flesh-colored figure with white accents. She's got white in the sleeves and white bustier, upper top area there. And then she's got the white lower legs. Now she's got this piece right here that does move around a lot. I wish really that they had just sculpted this or glued this. I don't know why this has to really flop around as much as it does. I mean, she does have one. I mean, she has the problem that most female Marvel Legends has is the hands. Usually they're either closed fists, which fits the figure fine, but as soon as you start giving them open hands, they just kind of look like big oven mitts. I guess because they have to incorporate the articulation in the hand, that it just makes the hand look much larger. I guess if you pose it a certain way and you have her posed and sculpted in a certain way, you're not going to really see and notice the fact that her hand is so, in my opinion at least, so large. I think if anything, I have more issue with her legs as being the big culprit of this figure, because I think aside from the legs, the figure as a whole, even her large hand, still gives us a good figure. It's unfortunate though when you get to her legs, and her legs just become an issue. The same problem I had with some of the Marvel Legends, where you've got a hinge on the upper thigh, and that hinge will allow you to move the leg out. But to move the leg forward, once again, you got to rely on switching this tab, this hinge, to the front, and then you got to rotate, and it's a little harder with female figures. Then you got to rotate the leg around to then adjust the leg. And it's not without problems, to say the least. It becomes an issue, and I just wish there was another way that they could have done it. Somehow by, Sabretooth, I had no problems at all moving the legs. Wolverine had a bit of an issue moving the legs, but I mean, I can see White Queen as really being the biggest issue with moving leg joints. She's also got high heels, which doesn't also help with her standing. In fact, I have no theory whatsoever that I'm going to be able to get her stand properly on this set. I mean, in fact, she's just going to fall over. So utilizing a display stand for this character certainly would be something I would suggest. Luckily, she's not loose. Like, none of the joints or anything are loose on the White Queen. Ankle-wise, I even thought the ankles were going to plague her, but despite the fact that there's a pivot and the fact that you can rotate it, the figure still stands. Again, once you get a base, the ankles aren't the issue. It's just the fact that trying to get her legs to stand properly without her toppling over is more the problem. Articulation-wise, White Queen does have a ball joint head, and actually I didn't even notice the white collar, the white choker that was underneath the head here. Almost seems like that should have been a little further down, so it didn't get lost. Needless to say, though, she does have a hinge in the arms, so the arms move out, forward, back. She has a bend and rotation in the elbow. She has a hinge and rotation in the wrist. She has an upper torso ball joint. Once again, this is just a nuisance. And you've already seen what Spots said about the joints in the legs. I wish that could have been done a little bit different. She has a rotation in the thigh, double bend at the knee, and once again the hinge and rotation in the foot. A vast improvement from what the original White Queen was. I mean, that White Queen should just be easily forgotten. Call it a day and just say goodnight. File it under G, really is what I would say, and that G being garbage. But this White Queen I like. The only thing I really don't like about it is the legs. If there was a better way to sculpt the legs, or a better way to have the articulation in the legs, I would be a little more in favor of this figure. But I think sculpt-wise and then the face on the figure is really nice. And for that reason, I'm going to get White Queen here a 7. Today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the Hasbro Wolverine Marvel Legends line. We're having a look today at White Queen. And certainly stay tuned, guys. Spot's got the review of Cyclops still to come, as well as the piece required to build Pit. So there's a lot more heading your way for that. I'll see you guys next time.